What is up, guys? Welcome to Medellin, featuring a rainbow. This couldn't be a more sick setting to film this video in, honestly. You got the sun out over here. That's quickly going away, but the rainbow is still going strong. It's been exactly 3 months since I moved to Medellin, and I wanted to make a quick video going over a full breakdown on what it's actually like living here, especially as a solo traveler. Because most of what you see online when it comes to traveling is focusing on all the good things and all the highlights, but I wanted to give you guys a different perspective, one that's more centered around the day in the life experience and that point of view. Because when you travel, especially solo, you're going to encounter a lot of friction, a lot of adversity, but it's in those moments that you really figure out who you are, and that's where you really grow. So the more friction you experience, the better. I'll get into more of that later in the video, but I wanted to start out with the good and how sick it's been living here. As you guys just saw the rainbow, that was insane. But overall, this is the first time in my life I felt a complete sense of freedom, because I can do anything I want every single day. And I'm still focused, I'm very disciplined, I have a lot of structure in my life, but as I've learned, the more discipline you have, the more freedom you have as a result too. But I would say the best part about living here is just that sense of community that you don't find anywhere else. I mean, in other countries, I'm sure, especially South America, but in the States, everything just felt so isolated and fragmented, very car dependent. Here, it feels the exact opposite. It feels like pre-social media times. People are just out and about, walking around in the street, out at the park here. And it just feels like it's the way life is meant to be. And as a result, I feel more connected to others. I feel more integrated into the community, even though I'm an outsider. And then being here in Medellin, just that sense of abundance that you get. Like right now, being able to look out and just see the city skyline, and then all the nature that's nestled within the city. There's a lot of trees, a lot of green space, a lot of parks. So you have that constant sense of abundance, being able to see that scale. And just the magnitude of like where I live is so inspiring in of itself. Whereas when I was in Florida, in Orlando, Florida, from my balcony, I could only see a parking lot and it's so flat there. You never get that sense of scale. So that made me feel even more isolated on top of the way it is over there in general within the culture. But here, like no matter where you are, you get crazy views and you can just see for miles. And that just makes it so much easier to feel that abundant nature that's within this place. And like I said, it makes me feel even more inspired. All right, now talking about the friction, and this is the most important section. So the biggest thing you need to realize is that the more friction you feel when you travel, the better. The more that you fail, the more adversity you go through, everything is there to build you up. But there's people that travel that try to avoid the friction, try to just stay comfortable. But when you travel, it's all about trying to expose yourself, trying to really expand in general, and trying to really integrate with the culture, learning the language, doing all of that. So if you avoid doing that, it's going to limit your experience. When you're traveling solo, it's only you, and you don't have that same support system that you're probably used to. So when you face all this friction, like you really have to take it on yourself, and you don't really have any other outlet other than to just face what you've been avoiding or face everything that's currently happening. And a lot of people try to avoid that by just like isolating themselves in their Airbnb or their apartment, not really getting out there and trying to learn new things about where they're living, and just essentially kind of living a very isolated, fragmented life that they were living back in their home country. So if you do that, you're not going to grow. Because the biggest misconception with traveling is that it automatically leads to growth. But it only does if you're willing to face that adversity, actually challenge yourself, and live outside your comfort zone. Because that's what it's all about. It's a catalyst to have those exact things happen, but you have to just be open to it. You have to be willing to step into the unknown, because that's the whole point. So the beauty of traveling isn't found in all the highlights or all the amazing moments. It's found more so in that daily process of acclimating to a new culture, undergoing that sense of friction, being able to overcome those feelings of uncertainty, not knowing where your life is going, but just being able to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that in of itself is going to help propel you forward. All right, it's starting to rain a little bit harder now, but ultimately, if you're someone that's like me and you want to expand in life, you want to travel, you want to get yourself out there, but you're hesitant on wanting to do it and you're not sure of yourself, you just have to choose the pain of staying the same and having life be the exact same and not growing as a result, or facing the pain of that friction that I'm talking about when you come to a new country, when everything is new. But you have to have that mindset that like that's exactly where you grow, and like that is where the beauty lies, within that friction and just seeing yourself grow in real time. All right, I'm gonna get going, but I wanted to leave you guys with one last message. So you guys just have to realize that when you embark on a journey like this, there's going to be that perpetual sense of uncertainty. It's always going to be there and you can't avoid it. If you try to, you're just not gonna grow, like I already said. So the best thing you can do is just embrace everything it has to offer, all the highs, all the lows, and to keep moving forward in the face of uncertainty, in the face of self-doubt. No matter what you're experiencing, it's all there to benefit you. It's all there so that you can actually grow. But you have to be open to the full spectrum of everything that it entails. That's basically it for this video. I'm out here in the rain and it's honestly beautiful. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys took something away from that, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.